Hi everyone, this is Jax here with Nomadic Wonders and Shalom Temple Journey. And today I'm going to introduce you to the man behind the Royal Spirulina product that you'll find it on our event page. So let me introduce you to Paul. Hi Paul, how are you doing?
Hi, hello. How are you today?
Good, good, good. Paul, what is your last name?
It's spelled Pluta,
Okay,
Pluta.
well, it's good because I didn't want to pronounce it wrong, so I want to make sure that you pronounced it for us. All right,
But
so
everybody knows me as Paul Spirulina. I even get
Paul
wedding
Spirulina.
invitations with Paul Spirulina on it.
Okay, perfect. So you heard it here. He's Paul Spirulina. All right, Paul, tell me a little bit about behind Royal Spirulina. Tell me about the name Royal. Why did you choose the name Royal Spirulina?
Well, as with any product, I think the most difficult start is picking a name.
That's right.
So I think I came up with 10 different names and I asked people what they think, which one they think is the best one. And most of the people decided to choose Royal Spirulina. I had different names on there, but that one stuck. So
Excellent. And now, what got you into the whole spirulina industry and the whole spirulina world? Where did your journey begin with that?
so my journey started probably 25 years ago. Yeah, going back to about 1999. I worked as a computer engineer, analyst. That was my background. I went to school for that. And, after many years of working in IT,
Hmm.
I became sick myself, right? I wasn't feeling
Ah,
good, no energy, the typical junk food and
right,
and that you consume in office setting, right?
right.
So that was my wake up call when it comes to health. So I decided to do a little bit of research. I found a mentor, a really amazing woman by named Dr. Day, and bought her material, bought everything she had, and implemented it overnight. And I had a very quick result with my improvement.
Wow.
However, there was still a challenge when it came to being on the go, being in the
Okay.
office, right? You don't
Yes.
have that many options. So I said, okay, what can I do to consume foods that are nutritionally dense? I did
Right.
my research and I found spirulina. So that was back over 20 years ago.
Okay.
Um, so that was the beginning of my enlightenment when it comes to health and nutrition.
Excellent. Now, spirulina has, I'm sure, played a part in your own, in your health journey, even up to now. And I see that you carry two different types of spirulina colors. Tell me about the different, I know there's a blue one and then there's like the green one. Are they the nutritional profile different between the two colors or are they pretty similar?
That is an excellent question. So yes, we do have spirulina, which is the main one, is the full spectrum, freeze dried. We don't use spray dryers. All spirulina imported is spray dried at over 400
Wow.
degrees.
Okay.
It destroys phycocyanin, which is the main component. Uh,
Right.
the blue color that's in spirulina comes from phycocyanin, which is this. And I
Uh-huh.
apologize, still working on the bag design for it to have a nice bag. But so they're both of the components are part of spirulina. Spirulina is a single cell organism.
Hmm.
It is phycocyanin and chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the green, phycocyanin is the blue. So throughout the journey of making all of this happen, we were experimenting because I'm a firm believer in raw foods, as close to nature as possible, right? So
Okay.
I said, okay. So I was, first of all, I'm against, and I was always against all powders and processed, things, you
Yes.
know. So I said, all right, how can I get close to nature? So I said, we'll freeze the spirulina. We will freeze it fresh. When we collect from the water, we freeze it, and that way we'll be able to ship it to people. It wasn't so easy. Shipping frozen products are extremely difficult,
Yes.
especially when you have solids of 20%, 25%, and 75 to 80% water. It
Yes.
will melt very quickly. It's doable, but that raises costs
Mm,
extremely. because of shipping. You have to use dry ice, you have to do, overnight
That's right.
or second day shipping. All of it adds to the price. And my goal was to create something that average person, average family in the United States could afford it.
Mm.
So went back to drawing boards and said, what else can we do? So we started sun drying spirulina.
Sun drying. Okay.
Yeah, to keep the temperatures low. I
Right, right, right,
still
right.
was not happy. I said it's still not the same. It
Ah.
still doesn't have the same purity and taste and everything else that fresh spirulina has.
Hmm.
So next step, we went through 7 different companies that specialized in freeze drying till we finally found one that we were happy with, and they were able to utilize freeze drying technology
Right.
to remove the water without damaging the spirulina itself. Because,
Ah.
as the crucial components for our health are fats.
Yes, definitely. The lipids. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, and one of the beautiful thing about spirulina is that it carries gamma-leonetic acid, which is found in
Yeah.
mother's breast milk and primrose oil.
That's
Okay. And that's
awesome.
what helps the gut colonize the gut of the newborn to build the immune system.
Excellent.
So I said, if we use spray drying, if we use sun, that's going to diminish and destroy the fats. Not to mention phycocyanin, which is the blue.
The blue. Okay.
Typical spirulina, 98% of spirulina sold in stores is imported from China. It's grown in
Right.
the industrial areas in on massive scales. They have these huge man-made lakes. The problem is
Wow.
there's a lot of metals falling in and different type of contaminants from the air, from a
Hmm.
polluted air. So our spirulina is grown in special bioreactors that are completely isolated from the atmosphere. It has its own air filtration, it has its own water
Ah.
filtration. So none of the outside materials could fall in and contaminate the water. Spirulina itself is a wonderful organism, but if you introduce pollutants into the water, then when you dry it, you're going to dry it with it, right?
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so that's why we said, okay, let's grow it in a safe environment.
Excellent.
That's the main difference between spirulina out there and what we have. So
Right.
it's really a three-step process: how you grow it,
Hmm.
how you wash it. Washing spirulina is a delicate matter. The reason why I say that is because cyanobacteria itself, it's a single cell organism,
Yeah.
and it's surrounded by a delicate membrane. So typically when spirulina is collected and
Yeah.
then water has to be removed, right?
Okay.
So what companies do, they press spirulina, like a
Uh-huh.
cold press machine, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
juice out. They use the same technology to squeeze the water out of spirulina. However, what happens is when you do that, you puncture and destroy the cell wall.
Okay.
Then phycocyanin leaks out from spirulina, which is the blue, the main component.
Yeah.
That leaks out, leaving you with a degraded product.
Okay.
So we have a method of removing water
Okay.
without damaging the cell wall. This is why our
Wow.
spirulina is at least 4 times higher in phycocyanin than anything else on the market.
So it's a very high quality spirulina that you're getting. So sourcing is going to be very important. Not all spirulina are actually made the same. Just like some, you could say that about moringa, you could say about other, I'm very passionate about where sourcing happens for these
Correct.
superfoods. Now, superfoods can be, there's so many different foods with that label. And if we narrow it down to a few, what sets apart spirulina from these other superfoods on the market?
Oh boy, where do I start? I mean, I do have a nice 35-minute scientific documentary about spirulina, which can be seen on royalspirulina.com. But
Okay.
in short, spirulina is the most complete food available on the planet.
Hmm.
In 19, I believe it was 1970s, NASA did a hire Texas A&M University
Yeah.
to find them most nutrient dense food, and they settled
Okay.
on spirulina. because spirulina not only has proteins, B vitamins, right, which are the
Which
essential
is,
fat.
yeah, which is interesting, Yeah.
So spirulina has all these components that you can't find in any other plant on Earth. Like
Mhm.
it, the levels of proteins are so people are too hung up on protein.
Yeah.
People say I need protein, I need to, especially guys working out, right? Protein. It's the quality of amino acids that are building blocks for protein that are so crucial. So if you look on the profile of our amino acids,
Mm-hmm.
they're so much higher than anything else out there. We were tested at close to 70% protein, but
Mm-hmm.
it's protein that's bioavailable for the body.
Mm.
But that's the difference. So when you consume meat, for example, right, you have about, let's say, 25% protein,
Yep.
about 20% bioavailability.
Yes.
Spirulina, freeze dried, is about 87% bioavailable for the body.
So your body can use it pretty quickly and absorb it pretty fast. Now, the other thing I saw on your website as far as the profile for spirulina was the omegas. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so spirulina does have omega fats, right? Which are
Uh-huh.
the fats that I've been speaking about, that are so gentle. So it has omega 3s, omega 9s, it has the GLAs.
Yes.
When people start consuming our spirulina, symptoms start going away, right?
Yeah.
Surprisingly fast as well. And I was scratching my head and I said, what happens? Why is it that spirulina causes all these things? And again, it's because it's a complete food, essential fats, essential fats. I can't stress this enough with people. I'm a
Yeah.
vegan,
Yeah.
right? So, I'm a vegan, I'm 202 pounds, right?
Okay.
So everybody asks me, like, where you get your protein from? And I tell them protein is overrated. It's the quality
Mhm.
of other components that you
Yeah.
need in your food for your body to function properly. So yeah, I mean, it's an amazing food. It's food that's been used by, for thousands of years,
Yeah.
by different cultures. It originally grew in a lake, like Lake Chad, for example, and
Mhm.
people would collect, dry it, and consume it. It's one food that can help people with malnourishment.
Yeah, it sounds
Um,
like a soup, it just sounds like an amazing food to incorporate into our daily lives. I actually use it because I got some from Paul, and we use it. I use it for my kids because you know how picky these kids are nowadays. But I put it in her smoothie or in her yogurt every single day. I try to make sure she has that. And I'm looking at the brain development with the profiles of the omegas with the spirulina, and that's what I'm using it. And so also giving her, the trace minerals and the vitamins that the spirulina is so rich in. I want to use it for my kids, and and you can't even taste it. That's the other thing that I noticed with your spirulina. There's no taste, and you can incorporate other, like fruits and other things, and it's not gonna get that sea, you know, smell or the sea taste that you can find in other, like say on sea moss. Sometimes that can be stinky, and no child's gonna respond well to that. Now, I know my daughter loves it because she loves that it changes the colors, and I can make different fun colors with the green and the blue depending on what berries or fruit I use. Is really fun. So yeah, I encourage you guys to check it out. Check out Royal Spirulina, and if you want to know more about spirulina, where can they find Royal Spirulina at?
so simply, if you type in Royal Spirulina in your browser, the website will come up along with YouTube video. I have a YouTube channel. If you go
Okay.
to YouTube, you type in Royal Spirulina, I make all kinds of different videos with regards to different symptoms. I was mentioning symptoms. Mount Sinai Hospital in New York
Yeah.
City just posted an article about cancer and spirulina, you
Wow.
know? So I I do work with cancer patients. There's a lot of cancer out there, and one of the passions I have for people is to seeing them get better. So
Hmm.
we actually create these special elixirs, these special
Oh,
drinks,
okay.
and in here you have complete nutritional profile, but because Not only spirulina is full in fats and
Mhm.
vitamins and everything else, but it also has a lot of minerals. And
Yes.
spirulina is one of the only foods on the planet that has a perfectly balanced 50-50 potassium and sodium.
Wow. And they in potassium and sodium, they work together on the teeter-totter, as I call it. So if one's up, right, it's when it's going to go down. So we want a nice balance between the sodium and the potassium. Very well. And then I'm sure it has a lot of magnesium in it because, talk about that.
Yeah, so it does have magnesium. One thing that spirulina is low in
Hmm.
is oh boy, it's iodine.
Iodine. Okay.
It does have traces of iodine,
Uh-huh.
but I would definitely recommend adding some of it into your
Yes.
regimen or your meal plan, or
Hmm.
one trick that I have is utilizing Celtic sea salt.
Yeah.
Celtic Sea Salt is an amazing company, and they have some of the best, cleanest salts on the planet. What
Hmm.
I do, I add a little bit of very specific salt from Celtic Sea Salt into the juices to balance things out farther. So, as far as results that we're seeing in people, they're quite dramatic. I mean, I'll give you an example. We had a medical doctor who suffered with eczema for over 40 years.
Oh my goodness.
And
Yeah.
it would get so bad, she would have to go to hospital to close the wounds.
Oh my.
And not only that, but inflammation of joints, couldn't
Right.
walk down the stairs, couldn't go for a walk. We have a video testimonial from the person. In
Yeah.
3 weeks, everything stopped.
Oh, that's
And
amazing.
she used injections, she used special machines. And the same thing with women that give birth. And when they give them cortisol, all of a sudden they have psoriasis.
Yep.
We've had those cases too. We have cases with cancer. I think there's a lot more research that needs to be done.
Hmm.
But after COVID, I think a lot of people started to waking up and saying, okay, I have to do things for myself. I have to be my own doctor.
Exactly. And at the Sustain Me event, we are going to be talking about some of these amazing benefits of spirulina. Paul is going to vent there. He's going to have some of the spirulina products there for us to try. And is there going to be like some juicing? What? Tell me about
Oh,
that.
yes. Yes, we're going to have juices. I'm going to bring my special juices. So I'm going to make two different juices. I'm going to make one with the full spectrum spirulina, and one is going to be made with the phycocyanin. Actually, this is not phycocyanin. This is something new I've been working on,
Yeah.
which I'm really proud. So maybe I can announce it a little bit
Yeah.
here.
Oh, bring it up. Okay, it's the blue. Tell me, and
Uh,
what's in that? If it's not
Oh
just
boy. Yeah, the camera it doesn't want
there.
to focus on it too much. This is a Celtic sea salt infused with spirulina.
Wow. And how would you use that?
The same way you've been using it for anything else, right? So we have the
Okay.
blue and we have full spectrum salt as well. We were just working on this for the last week or so. What I like to do is I like to put a little bit of Celtic sea salt in my water.
Hmm.
Every time for the last 25 years, I've been adding a pinch of Celtic sea salt into my water whenever I drink my water. And the golden rule is half of your body weight in ounces of water,
Hmm.
right? Now, when I have water and I add blue spirulina, blue salt to it, not only it looks cool,
Yeah.
but it also gives you all the minerals plus proteins and some B vitamins that are still in there.
Right. So it's a lot, it's really good for energy then if it has some of the B vitamins. Like, I
Absolutely.
have noticed that when I consume it, I get a lot more energy, especially because I like to put it in, like I said, in the smoothies. And I haven't tried it straight in water, which now I'm curious how I can incorporate that in my electrolyte water in the mornings. As you guys know, well, some of you know that I drink my electrolyte water in the morning, and that's how we wake up and we water the garden. Remember how Barbara Niels always tells us to stay hydrated. And so I think this is a great way to incorporate minerals into your water to stay hydrated because that's going to pull it right into the cells. There's one thing about being flooded with water And then there's another thing about being hydrated by water. There's two different things. And I think a lot of people are they're drinking a lot of water thinking that they're doing good, but they're missing the trace in the minerals. That minerals are important to pull those molecules right into the cells. And one thing that Barbara O'Neill did say to me one time is like, if you put it right on your tongue, the enzymes interact with the minerals, and when you drink the water, the molecules now are driven right to the cells versus going right into digestion. So that's something, a little trick. So now I bet you could put some of that blue Celtic sea salt in spirulina right on your tongue and then report. Give us, share with
I
us
love
what
doing
happened.
Absolutely. I love doing just that. And you know what? I'm quite addicted to the salt, so I have to watch myself because it tastes so good. Sometimes I overdo it, but you know what? I I'm not sure actually if I'm overdoing it because I feel great. You know, I'm a little bit older. I'm not gonna say my age, but I'm a little bit older than what people say, and I still have no gray hair because I have all the minerals in my body. Surface tension of the water gets softer when you add salt. And when the
Mm,
surface tension is softer, there's something called hard water and soft water, right? So when you
yes.
drink the soft water with Celtic sea salt or spirulina that has all the minerals, now your body can absorb it very easily, just like you said.
Yeah.
And the reason why I love spirulina, because it's so easy to digest.
Hmm.
And when you bind it with juices, now you have pre-digested food. So
Hmm.
anybody who's sick, they need to focus on healing the body, restoring energy of the body, not losing energy on digestion. That's when the
Right.
spirulina, Celtic sea salt
Right.
comes in, right? So
Rest
yeah,
and digest, right? Because when we're resting, we're actually healing. We don't need to draw any more attention to digestion. This is why it's very important when we are sick to allow the body to get most of its energy from from the white cells and all that. But we need to heal first. We can't just, I know a lot of people want, it's like, oh, I need to eat because I haven't eaten and I'm sick. Actually, that's the worst thing you could do is make your body work extra hard when it's trying to heal itself. And that's why I like the Royal Spirulina technique. When you're sick, how about we just sip on some blue water, okay? Or some green water and some yum, add a little lemon in there, make it sassy, make it to your liking. Yeah, so I had a thought, and you tell me what you think about this. Because I don't know, like the blue is fun. I like the green, but of course I like the blue too. What if we can we add it to like a bath? Like, if we're gonna take a bath just for fun, like what do you think? What are your thoughts behind that?
okay. So I've never tried it. However, I do a lot of face mask with spirulina. It does amazing things for your skin. Amazing.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And actually, I have a surprise. I actually have a surprise for the show, but I won't reveal it yet.
Okay.
Um, so, um, but spirulina is full of fats.
Mm-hmm.
I
Hmm.
don't know how the bath tub would look after putting spirulina into the water. And I don't know how easy it would be for you to wash it off. Although I'll be honest with you, the beauty about spirulina, the natural color in phycocyanin will not stain.
No, that's what I noticed because when I've gotten some in my hands and it doesn't turn it blue, it doesn't stain. So that's what I was thinking. What if we put it in the bath, like with some Epsom salt and put some spirulina in there? Now we have trace minerals and the Epsom salt, which is full of magnesium. And, just saying.
It's an idea. I just don't know how much you would have to use. You know, this stuff is pretty expensive to
Yeah.
yeah, this phycocyanin extract is very difficult to extract. It's a whole
Uh,
process. It's very expensive. This is why a baggie like this, it's like $50 or $40, right?
yeah. 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 Yeah.
Um, but you can definitely try it, and I think you would have wonderful effects from it. One thing I would suggest that you could try is take a teaspoon of
Mhm.
spirulina and take 2 teaspoons of water and just mix it. Make a paste.
Okay.
Make a
Like a
paste and
mask?
then apply it to your skin.
There we go. Okay, I'm liking this. I'm liking where this is going because we like to keep, those I can just imagine all those minerals going into your skin and the omegas. What is your skin? It's fat, right? It's
It
collagen.
glows. Your skin starts glowing. It becomes smooth. Your wrinkles start disappear. I'm completely. like
I'm gonna
shocked how
try
well
that.
it works. And you will.
I'm
We'll
gonna.
have fun in North Carolina. But well, I had a third-degree burn or second-degree burn, whatever, from the sun. I was literally bleeding on my chest.
Oh my,
First
did you
time I
fall
went to
asleep?
Puerto Rico. No, first time I went to Puerto Rico, I was so excited. I love hiking. I can go hiking 20, 25 miles, and I was outside all day.
Oh my.
And the next day I do the same thing. And I knew better, but it was such a bad burn. I applied spirulina and my skin healed in like a couple days.
That's amazing. That's
It
amazing.
does, yeah, it does a lot of things. It has so many uses. You can use spirulina instead of egg because our spirulina has all the fats.
Huh.
Spirulina that's being brought from mostly China, when it's spray dried, fats are heat sensitive and light sensitive. That get
Mm-hmm.
destroyed right away. Then we're finding heavy metals. We're finding sometimes dead parasites in spirulina.
Oh
The
my
stuff
goodness.
that I found, I did an investigation with USDA because I started seeing organic spirulina on the market. First of all, when it's hydroponic, it's not organic. If
Mm.
it's aquaponic, it can be organic. There's no such thing as
Oh.
aquaponic and organic.
Hmm.
There's a huge debate right now. They're trying to outlaw doing labels for organic when it's grown in hydroponics because hydroponic it's a liquid and it's mostly chemical.
Okay. Interesting. Well, Paul, is there
Yeah,
anything
so
else as far as products that you want to share with us, or anything else that before
um,
we wrap it up?
you know, as far as product itself, all I can say is just give it a try. Tell people we're seeing such tremendous results from this food. People are calling us all the time. Spirulina is full of tryptophan,
Mm.
the reason why you have the energy, right? So
Yes.
so people that have like mental challenges, right? Like
Mhm.
they can take it. It helps them that way as well. So I would say visit the website. It's royalspirulina.com. Go to the main page, the first page that you land on. It will have a 35-minute documentary with real scientists. It's made in France and it's about spirulina, and you will
Okay.
learn a lot.
Wow.
So another thing I can tell you is to be mindful where you buy your things. Whenever you buy anything in powder form, always ask for certificate of analysis. As I
Yeah.
mentioned, I did an investigation and I found some horrific things that are coming in from China, and there is zero oversight.
Right. So how about we support our local and our, communities, our, grown in the US products so that we can take advantage of our own economy here, right? Grow our own economy through our own products versus outsourcing it to other areas that we don't know the quality. We got child labor happening, we got all these other tainted issues that are going on. So let's try to focus as we come together, especially this March, together to have an intention to support each other, support those small businesses, even big businesses but that they're really are focusing on quality and where they're sourcing their products from.
If you're on Instagram, follow us at Royal Spirulina USA, and I will post an update on there. Also, if you signed up for our newsletter on the website, you will receive information. I'm new. It's my first time doing any type of a show like this, so I'm in your hands. I know you're going to
Okay.
steer everyone perfectly. I'm an educator. I like to educate people.
Hmm.
Product itself, I don't like to call it a product. I like to call it food because it is food. It's under USDA as
Yes.
food.
Yes. I am excited, and I'm sure Paul is excited. So we will see you there.
Eh,
Bye.